Hello and welcome everybody to this session that is a free Zoom session that I wanted to do. All of you, or many of you are so kind to me and signing up for my programs and always, participating. It means a lot to me and I get a lot of joy from doing the 7-day programs because I see so many of you finally being able to get on the wagon and staying on track. So thank you for always or as always or as often as you can to join my programs. So what are we going to do today? Well, today I wanted to share after several years, now almost 10 years of following a whole food plant-based diet, starch centered, and working very closely with all those wonderful doctors that we know and respect, and with chefs and with psychologists, I have learned a lot and I continue to learn. And since I am a born teacher, I was born a teacher and I love to teach. And if there's one thing that I know that I can do well is teach. As you all know, I'm a doctor of musical arts and I have been teaching at the university level and private level many years. So I want to share these, all the knowledge that I've acquired, well, not all, but a lot of knowledge I've acquired up to this point. I do want to say that even though my students call me doctor, I am not a medical doctor. Okay, so I today or anytime, I will never be giving you medical advice. That's something that you get from your physician. I am a pretty good expert on the food though, okay? So I've been doing webinars for a long time. I've been attending lectures and doing my own programs. It can be very frustrating, okay? This is what I see, and I've been seeing it lately in comments on Facebook and other social media. People who are frustrated because they're either not losing weight or they're gaining weight when they don't want to gain weight. They're confused. And of course, I can relate because at one point, 12, 13 years ago, I was there with you. So it can be very frustrating. And in many cases, I have found out, here's the first a very valuable piece of information I'm giving you. In many cases, they miss one word. And this word is the word that starts with a W. And it's the word whole, as in whole food plant-based, WHOLE, whole. They missed that word. And so whole means also unprocessed, eating food that is as close to its original state as possible. So I see people who tell me that they follow the whole food plant-based or the starch solution 100%, and then they tell me that they have smoothies with protein powder and almond milk, and and then I look at the protein powder and it has tons of sugar. In many cases, it has a lot of salt, sodium, and so that's retaining water, and that's the weight they're gaining. And they're not chewing, they're not eating their food, and so they're swallowing the calories. And the other day, I saw somebody who, one of these smoothies was 180 calories. Well, that's almost 2 pounds of non-starchy vegetables. Can you imagine the volume that creates in your body, not to mention the water and the fiber for detox and all the nutrients? So anyway, I see a lot of this confusion, and we need to, I want to encourage you today, like I encourage everybody when we do my 7-day detox and reset program, is eat your food, don't drink it, at least most of the time. I'm not saying that smoothies are not healthy or the juices are not healthy. I just that most of the time to eat the food and eat it in as close to its original state as possible. So let's see. Let's get started. I'm just what I did. I wanted you to see real life. I wanted you to see what I do. So I've put together a few slides that I want to share with you. And so while I show you the slides, I will be talking. Let me see. Okay, hold on. This is the part that I don't like that much because I have to always hope that I'm doing it right. So here we go. I'm going to share the screen and here we go. So some tips, secrets, strategies that have been gathered by me over the lapse of 9 years. Here we go. Let's see. These pictures are recent, are from last week, and then you're going to see one that was from yesterday. This is something that I make often. So we're actually starting our session right now when I said that I was going to show you simple meal ideas and not complicated recipes. Not that complicated recipes are good, because I love to make complicated recipes or more elaborate recipes, but I can't many times because I don't have time. So what is this here? Well, that is like 2 onions chopped that I dry saute. It is of utmost importance that you have an absolutely superb, excellent non-stick pan. Otherwise, you can't really cook whole food plant-based because things are going to stick and you're going to use oil and you're going to ruin basically everything. And we can talk about that topic another time. But so this is dry sauteing. Whenever needed, you put 1 or 2 tablespoons of water, and it's just fine. When you dry saute, it needs to be very hot. Don't put the pan at low or medium. Put it medium high or high. So that's probably 2 onions chopped. When they're starting, in this case, you see those little thingies there. Those are pine nuts, which I use very seldom, because if you're trying to lose weight, one of the things you want to minimize or eliminate is nuts. They just have, they're not unhealthy. They just have a lot of calories. So this is something that I do every now and then, and especially if I have guests over, so that they can, and they're not plant-based, so they can, so it's a little more elaborate. But so first I toasted like 1/4 of a cup or less of some pine nuts. They're toasted. And then I add the onions and I just leave them there for like 10 minutes. I stir them until they're getting kind of brown. And then I threw in some chopped or sliced fresh mushrooms. How much? Probably 2 cups. All of this is things that I do with whatever I have in the refrigerator. So don't ask me for recipes, because this session is not for recipes. It's for meal ideas that you can change according to what you have. I'm giving you some generalizations. So yeah, onions, mushrooms, any kind, sliced. And then I happen to have a little bit left of some sun-dried tomatoes, not in oil, just sun-dried tomatoes, which I sliced and let them soak in water for a few minutes to hydrate, and then I just put them there. Then what did I do after the onion and the mushrooms were brown? I added a steamed kale. And it can be kale, it can be Swiss chard, it can be spinach, it can be collard greens, it could be any greens. If you want to maintain your cardiovascular health, You have to have several servings of greens every day. I'm not going to talk too much about this because Dr. Esselstyn, who is the one of the most important medical doctors on heart health, and he still is active as a doctor at the I just had it on the tip of my tongue here, the clinic in Cleveland, the Cleveland Clinic. He talks about the greens, the important greens, what it does to our endothelial cells, to our arteries. So I always add greens. The greens were steamed for 5 to 6 minutes to improve the production of this gas that is made, that is called nitric oxide, which helps restore the health of our arteries. So there it is. You see the product now to the left. I eat that by itself. I eat it with mashed potatoes. Sometimes I put it on top of the sweet potatoes. I put it on brown rice. I mean, sometimes I put it on my growth oats in the morning to make savory oatmeal. I sometimes, if I have a really good, healthy, no salt, whole wheat toast, I might make 2 pieces of toast and put 2 slices of tomato first, and then that. I mean, all sorts of things you can use this. It's a wonderful meal idea that is simple. Here's another. The other day I made, I first steamed cauliflower for about 2 minutes, a whole head, and then just to make it a little softer. And then I cut it in little pieces, bite size, and then I put them in the oven on that pan. But it could be any pan. It could be a pan with parchment paper or any kind of cover, and just roasted at high temperature. So that is always delicious to me. Then those are beets that I cooked in the Instant Pot. And then to the right, you have my mashed potatoes, which I usually make the mashed potatoes with a few small pieces of butternut squash, because I like the little hint of sweetness. I like the color. I like the texture it gives to my mashed potatoes. And that's it. So that was a delicious lunch. You could also throw in the cauliflower in the mashed potatoes and mash it, and that's another way. So great, fulfilling. This is what we call whole foods. Whole and full of fiber for satiety, with full of water. Of course, when you roast something, you lose some of the water, but still, if you're eating the greens, I mean, it all balances out. Okay, we want to eat water. I mean, a lot of fiber and water. So then, here's another version of my greens. Like I said, this is all from this week. Okay, and in this case, I put more onions. I put like 4 medium onions. I didn't chop these. I sliced and then cut in half. And then I put at least 2 cups of mushrooms that were sliced. This doesn't have the pine nuts. First, I browned the onions for like 10 minutes, 10, 12 minutes. Then I added the mushrooms. To me, that smells so good, these 2 things sauteing. And again, you just add about 2 tablespoons of water whenever it's needed. And the mushrooms, of course, are releasing water, which helps, and so does the onion. Then I happen to have in the refrigerator 2 carrots that were steamed, and I didn't know what to do with them. So what do you think I did? Well, I cut them in little pieces and added them. And I also had my regular steamed kale. I have so much kale in my garden in the backyard that I'm eating kale every day, and I love it. Um, and that was, oh, and of course garlic. I always add 5 or 6 cloves of garlic, or more. Garlic, if you chop it and you can let it sit for 20-25 minutes, um, it does something to its composition that really makes it, all the benefits of garlic get absorbed better. So try, if possible. Sometimes I can't do it. Try to not chop it and use it instantly. It has to oxidate a little bit, so leave it out. Okay, the onion doesn't matter. The onion, you can just put it right away. Okay, so here's another one. Again, you can see that those greens are always present. Dr. Esselstyn wants patients who have heart disease to eat 6 servings of greens a day. And that may sound like a lot, but he says that the serving is half of your fist. So in my case, yeah, I may have a kind of a big fist, but half of that fist is not very much. Yesterday, Dr. Esselstyn did a live Facebook that was absolutely brilliant, amazing. And you really, I suggest that you watch that. If you don't know where it is, email me and I'll try to send you the link. But in any case, he was talking about, now, if you don't have heart disease, maybe not 6. I mean, one time when we were talking, he said to me, well, if you follow the diet, you're young, you're not in your 70s, 80, and so maybe 4 times is 5, 3 or 4 times. But I say, why not? I want to actually prevent heart disease. So I'm going to try to get those 6 servings. After all, 6 servings of half of my fist is not much. 1 in the morning with breakfast, 1 midday with a little with some balsamic vinegar or rice vinegar, like he says, and then 1 for lunch, 1 in the mid-afternoon, 1 for dinner, and then 1 before you go to bed. So here are my baked fries, which are famous. Okay, I have to proudly announce it. It took me a long time to perfect this, but my I say fries, but of course they're not fried. They're done in the oven, are crunchy on the outside and creamy on the inside. They have all different spices on top. So I make that. For that, I use parchment paper because it seems that it makes them crispier. Or I use the other pan that has little holes because the air is going through them. So that's what I use. And then I served it with that green mixture that I was showing you before. And then these are grilled veggies. This came from the other day when I had to go to a barbecue for an event, and I was obviously not going to eat meat. So I took in 2 big Tupperwares, I took cut up veggies ready to put on the grill. And my cousin who was doing the grilling, and I took the sheet to put on the grill that is made for grilling, so that it wouldn't touch any grease. And wow, sweet potatoes, zucchini, corn, potatoes, onions. Actually, I had to fight to eat them because everybody wanted to eat them. They were so good. And people just don't know how good a whole food, plant-based way of eating is. Okay, grilled vegetables, another option. It's a little more complicated because you have to go and turn on the grill and all that, but they are worth it. And if you do it, make a lot of them. And then this is where the magic happens. To the left, you have kale. That's my kale right here in my backyard. And the other one is a potato plant. I don't know if you've ever seen the potato plant. It does grow higher. Now it's higher than that. And you know when the potato is ready for harvesting when the leaves dry out. Okay, so as long as they're green, you don't do anything. They have to completely dry, and then you know the potatoes are ready. Why do I say magic? Because look at those green leaves of the potatoes. What are they doing? They're soaking up that sun, that energy. What they're doing, those leaves are soaking up water, of course, and the energy of the sun, and it's sending it down to the ground, and is storing all that energy in the form of starch under the ground, and then we eat that. So I just like to think that when I eat a potato, I'm eating a little piece of sun, okay, and of all all that energy. That's why we have so much energy in the potato, the sweet potato. And the kale, of course, is absorbing the water and the sunlight, and it's just it's life. Is pure life, and that's totally 100% whole food, plant-based. Okay, now what if I had kale noodles? Well, they're still healthy. They will absorb water when I cook them, but it's not really whole anymore. Okay, so what do I have to do? Well, if I made kale pasta, then I would make sure that I have a really good tomato sauce, and that I pile up other steamed vegetables on top of that. Okay, so here's these are my two breakfasts. Well, I have three breakfasts, but that I eat often, but these are two of them. The one that has the greens is my oat groats, which I've become addicted to them. I almost never eat rolled oats anymore, or steel cut oats, not because they're not good. They're good. They really are. I'm not saying anything against them. I just have learned to love oat groats because of their creaminess, and because it couldn't be anything more whole than that. It's the actual grain without having gone through any processing. It takes longer to cook, but if you have an instant pot, it's not that bad. In my case, in 11, 12 minutes, it's cooked. So I cook the oats, and I put some spices. Sometimes I put some sliced mushrooms, and then I pile up some fresh spinach and fresh tomatoes, or anything that you have. Just put it there, and since it is hot, it's going to the kale or the spinach is going to start to wither a little bit, and that is a serving. That's one of the greens. I could eat double that, so I could have two servings. By the way, Dr. Celestine says, don't eat all 6 servings at once. I want you to get the benefits of the greens absorbed throughout the day, 6 times a day. And the other one is my oat groats with fruit, and it's whole fruit, okay? So that all of the fiber is there, so that the fructose doesn't get absorbed immediately into your bloodstream. It has the shield that the fiber has, so that our blood sugar doesn't go in high peaks up and down. And here is a I wanted to show you. You can see the rolled oats. Well, in my screen is to my right. Then down here you can see the steel cut oats, and then, well, to my left at least, is the groat oat. That looks like brown rice. So you can see that. So you can see the oat groats that look like brown rice. That's the whole grain and nothing but the grain. Then you have the grain cut in 2 or 3 little pieces, and that's the steel cut oats. And then you have the rolled oats where it has been cut more. Okay, so let's move on to this one. This is the last time, a few months ago, when I went to True North, and maybe many of you saw my videos, and they're still there in my YouTube channel. I did a video every day while I was doing my fast. Unfortunately, this was not my plate. This was my mother's plate because I was doing a fast. But look at the beauty of that plate. The oven-baked fries, stuffed tomatoes with red onions and mango and cilantro, and I don't know what else. Oh, and I think it had, I don't know what else it had. It was probably mango salsa. Then the corn, and I see some mushrooms there. I just can't remember everything, but you can pretty much see. Oh, and I see. I think no, it didn't have corn. This is just for you to also be. This is my. To me, this is the king of all starch. Sweet potatoes, any kind of sweet potatoes, because it has massive amounts of beta carotene, which is a wonderful antioxidant. Twice the fiber of regular potatoes. A lot of vitamin C and E. I mean, if you have cravings, roasted sweet potatoes will kill the cravings almost instantly. I cannot recommend sweet potatoes enough. And in my 7-day program, we learn how to make it in different ways. Look at this sweet potato. Don't you just want to grab it right now and eat it? It's baked and it has slices of bananas and blueberries, and that's not chocolate, okay? That is balsamic vinegar. Yeah, I think that's pretty much what it has: bananas and blueberries. You could add other fruit to it. That could be like your bowl of your breakfast bowl right there. It could be lunch, could be dinner. Okay. Look what oil does, because remember, by the way, whoever made this here forgot to put the E on the O of potatoes. But Dr. Celestine says no oil of any kind. Don't ask, oh, olive oil, coconut oil, this or no oil, because it really injures the endothelial cells, and that's what covers all of our arteries and keeps us heart attack proof. So no oil. But even if it wasn't because it injures our endothelial cells, just the amount of calories alone. So 100 grams, which is not very much, but in this case is 6 small potatoes. I mean, it's still a good amount to eat. It's only 76 calories. 76 calories, but the same weight of food, of potatoes, that were now made not whole. That's not a whole food anymore. And with oil, the same amount of weight is 450 calories. And look at the other picture where this is true. One French fry has as much fat in it as an entire potato. So that's why we don't eat oil. I just wanted to put this picture here because the lady that is sitting right there, that's my mother, who's 82 years old and is plant-based. And you can see how plant-based is, you're eating so many antioxidants, is also anti-aging. The other wonderful lady, Cecilia, is a famous soprano, and we did a concert together 2 or 3 months ago. Okay, and these are my 2 ladies in life, my mother right there and my aunt, and both of them are plant-based and they are very healthy. And I just wanted you to see what it does to the body, because they both have friends the same age who are very sick, going through a lot of medical issues and taking 5, 6, 7, 8 medicines, and they don't take any. Okay, going back to food. That is my baked polenta that my sweet, wonderful grandmother used to make. My grandmother was from Spain. That was my mother's mother, and she used to make this polenta, which is very easy. You make polenta according to the package, and you want to make enough for 6 servings. So just follow the package direction, 6 to 8 servings probably. And then you have ahead of time, you have made tomato sauce, like spaghetti sauce, any way you want to make it, and obviously without oil. It should have greens. Maybe it has mushrooms, and you just do layers. Put at the bottom of a glass pan, put a little bit of that sauce, then put a layer of polenta, then another sauce, another layer of polenta. Then maybe if you have that mixture that I usually have, the one with greens, you put a layer of greens, then another polenta, then you finish it with sauce, tomato sauce, and you put that in the oven at 350 for about 45 to 50 minutes. And then you take it out and you let it cool a little bit so that it firms up again. And that is not that's not cheese. That is nutritional yeast right there on the top, which is optional, but you can use it. And that is amazing meal. Very, very satisfying. The other day I saw this on nutritionfacts.org. In nature, fructose comes prepackaged with a fiber, antioxidants, and phytonutrients that appear to nullify adverse fructose effects. Basically, that means eat your fruit, don't drink it, okay? Because when you drink it, all of the fiber is add up is so small that all the fructose goes directly. Pretty much the body doesn't make a difference. Whether it was fruit or not, it's like drinking a glass of sugary water. So you want the fiber to be intact. The other day also, this is what I had and I cooked it, okay? So there's my greens, which was broccoli, and it was steamed. Then I had cauliflower that was steamed also, and that what you see on the top is smoked paprika. Then I steamed carrots, and I think I chopped some celery or cilantro, I don't remember. And then my mashed potatoes. Those mashed potatoes didn't have any butternut squash, but I cooked it with several cloves of garlic. And I made my plate with all those 4 things, and then you can drizzle some balsamic vinegar, or if you have made some oil-free hummus, or just like that, or lemon juice. It's just delicious. And this was last night, so this is recent. Last night I had some guests over. They're not plant-based, but they love to come to my house because they love the way the food tastes. So I made my greens. You can see them there. With I had 4 medium to medium large onions that looked like a lot when I put it in the pan, and then they reduced. And then because this was company, I put a little bit of those toasted pine nuts, and 6 or 7 cloves of garlic chopped, and mushrooms. And then it was kale from my yard. And then I made my chipotle brown rice. I say chipotle because I copy the rice from the restaurant. Basically, it's rice that is cooked with lime juice and cilantro. You put as much as you want. I made 2 cups of rice, brown rice, 2 uncooked, of course. 2 uncooked cups of brown rice. I put the juice of 3 limes, and I put a big bunch of chopped cilantro, and I put all of that in the Instant Pot, and I cooked it according to the directions of the package. I think it took 11 minutes, and it was fluffy and it was delicious. The combination of lime and cilantro is just incredible. Then that is like sort of like a stew, and it has black beans that I had cooked in the Instant Pot. In the black beans, in the Instant Pot, I put 1 chopped onion. I had 2 large tomatoes that were really soft, and if I didn't use them, they were going to go bad. So I chopped them and I put them there. Okay. So it was onion, it was 1 onion chopped. I put 2, they were the round tomatoes. You can use any tomato. You can leave it out. I had to use them somehow. So I put them there. And then I put some chipotle powder or some Mexican or spices there, and I cooked the black beans. It was 2 cups of black beans, and then I put I think it was 4. No, I think it was 6 cups of water. You can just cover them with water. I usually cover them with water and then I go up a little more. And I cooked the black beans. I cooked them. I like them soft, so I cooked them for 30 minutes. Okay, they had been soaking for a few hours, not all night long. And that's what that is. Okay, and then I had sliced some cucumbers and tomatoes, and I had whole wheat bread that I buy in a bakery where they make it without salt. And I didn't eat it, even though I wanted to, because that's my weakness in life, but I got it for them. So they could put some slices of cucumber and tomato on the piece of bread, and then the green mixture on top, and make like a little open-faced sandwich. And then one of the people didn't do it, and on the plate he put rice, the mixture, and then the cucumber, the tomato. He just ate it by itself, and then of course the other thing was in a bowl. And that was last night, and that is it. So okay, so let's see. That's it. I wanted to show you. I hope that you got some ideas of easy meal ideas, and that how eating this way doesn't have to be complicated, and it doesn't have to be expensive, and it doesn't have to take a lot of time. So let me know. Let's see, I'm looking at your comments here. Let me know if you have any questions, or you can unmute your microphone and ask. Okay, so none of us, well, I don't know. I think many of us, I should say, don't like every single vegetable, okay? So I know that some people may not like potatoes, or some people may not like sweet potatoes, or somebody may not like broccoli. That should be of no concern, and that's not an issue, because when we eat a whole food plant-based diet, and you go to the produce section of a big supermarket, there are hundreds of vegetables that we can eat. So the nutrition that you need and the small amounts of protein that we need daily are met if you eat a variety of starchy and not starchy vegetables. So don't worry if you don't like this or that. You will learn how to eat other things that have the same nutrition. Or you may learn to like it once someone like me shows you different ways. Maybe you haven't tried a different way of making it. Maybe you haven't tried it with different spices or with other things. So who knows? Be open-minded. But are canned beans without added salt okay? Oh yeah, yes. in my next 7-day program that I'm going to do, I will be very busy with other things. So I think I'm going to have to use canned canned beans, but of course I will make sure that they are salt free. Let's see, what do you season your onion, mushroom, green? Oh, I have a pretty big a variety of seasoning. So every time is different. But I mean, I use thyme, I use oregano, I love smoked paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, then all those Mrs. Dash combinations of herbs that are salt free. Goodness sake, I mean, I just start to explore. There are so many spices. Okay. Can you recommend a brand of non-stick pans? Well, let's see. The one that I used, well, those two that I used there. One is called Scan Pan that I've had for 9 years now, and it still is like new. The other one is Copper Chef. Copper Chef, and that one is also very good. But there are others. You just have to do a little bit of research. There are some really good ones. Is the sweet potato cold that is served with banana and blueberries? Oh, that is either way. Yeah. So it can be cold, room temperature, or it can be hot. That's up to your liking. Okay. Okay. Eggplants are wonderful. My friend is suffering from heart problems. Where can I find Esselstyn on YouTube? I think if you go to YouTube, you go to Plant Strong. You have to, that's where it's at, because Plant Strong. That is Dr. Esselstyn's son. Okay. Let's see if I can, everyone. And he's the one that did the interview yesterday. And it's wonderful. Yes, Mariam, you can come over for dinner. Just take a plane, come over. Let's see, can you do you season your onion, mushroom, green dish? Yes, I always season. I always. Um, yeah, I like seasonings. Um, thanks, enjoy. Didn't like, okay. Well, let me just plug in a 30-second commercial since I have seen, I have done this 7-day program 2 times now, and I wasn't sure if I was going to keep doing it, but truly the results that I've seen are so good, so amazing that I'm running the 3rd one now. People really get on track, and they get so much support because we log in 3 times a day, every day for a week. And if you can't log in, you can watch the replays. And it's designed for someone who pretty much wants to be taken by the hand and shown everything, how to do it and what to do it, which is what I wanted when I started this. And that's why I attended a 10-day program that was a live-in program, the McDougall program, where they literally took you by the hand and show you exactly what to do and how to do it and when to do it and everything. And so that's what this program that is 7-day is designed to do. And so if you are interested, send me an email and I'll give you the info. My email is info@plantemas.com, and the program is starting on November 10th, and on November 7th we are doing an orientation session, and then we're getting started, and it should help a lot with the holidays coming up. But everything is on my website, which is plantemas.com. If you want to go and read it, it's there under webinars, and you go to live workshops and you can find it. Do you know when when your next day, maybe after this? Yes, then December I'm skipping because I'm going to be doing other sessions. Mostly it's going to be free things that I'll be doing, and then the next one is going to be in January. Okay. Anybody has a question or two or a comment, please?
Yes, Gustavo.
Yes.
I'm becoming aware of how much salt is in everything, and I'm struggling to find or even to make a spaghetti sauce that is low sodium or no sodium. And I know you spoke of your mother's wonderful sauce. Have you
Yeah.
shared that?
Oh,
Well,
yes.
have you shared that recipe, or is that a family
Yeah,
secret?
no. I share that in the program that I do, but I can share it, and it has different variations. But it starts with obviously tomatoes. Um, you can buy them canned, or you can buy them in glass bottles or whatever. If you buy them like that, just make sure that they don't have added sodium. Otherwise, you will just steam some tomatoes and peel them, and it depends how much you want to make. Okay, so a pound of tomatoes really is not that much. And the good thing about this sauce, my mother, and when I make it, I always make a lot, like I'm going to make it for, I don't know, 20 people. I make a lot because it freezes very well. And since you're going to go through the trouble of making this, why not make enough to freeze and then use it for several recipes? So tomatoes, and sometimes we combine diced tomatoes with the tomato sauce, with fresh tomatoes. The thing is that you've got to have tomatoes, obviously. And but everything starts, this could be a good title for a book. Everything starts with an onion. Okay, that's yeah.
Yeah.
Everything starts with an onion. In this case, everything starts with several onions, but you gotta have at least 3 or 4 onions, and these have to be chopped. Okay, not sliced in big chunks. So you have to chop them. And again, that's what I'm saying. If you're gonna make it and you're going to cry over it and all that, then make enough that will last. So you're gonna chop at least 4 onions, and you're going to water saute or dry saute them. And when they're brown, you're going to add the garlic, and you're going to brown it a little more. And then you're going to add the tomato. I'm just thinking to see if I'm skipping anything. Oh, yeah, there's another thing missing. If you like mushrooms, we always put mushrooms. So it's the onion, and then when I add the garlic, I add the garlic and the chopped mushrooms. And if you can have dry mushrooms that you have soaked ahead of time and you chop them, and you put some dry mushrooms and fresh mushrooms, that's even better. But if not, just fresh mushrooms. How much? Probably 2 cups of chopped mushrooms. And so you have the onions and the garlic and the mushrooms cooking. When you can tell that they're really well cooked, then you add the tomato sauce. It's a very simple sauce, okay? So nothing complicated. And one thing that my mother does is she adds red bell peppers, also chopped very small, because and she adds like a half cup of shredded carrots, because that sweetness will kill the acidity of the tomato or disguise it at least. So now going back, I'll tell you that it is the onion, the garlic, the mushrooms, if you like mushrooms, and then like a little bit, like a half cup or 3/4 of a cup of shredded carrots, and probably a cup of chopped red bell peppers. And you could do red and green if you want to. And then when all of that is cooked, soft enough and cooked, then you add the tomato. And of course, in a really good tomato sauce, you've got to have some fresh or dry oregano or oregano and thyme. And many times, if not always, she adds like a tablespoon of smoked paprika. And then you lower the heat and you let it simmer, probably around half an hour.
Oh, for sure.
For sure, half an hour. Yeah, I probably do it for 45 minutes. And you stir it every now and then, and there's your tomato sauce.
Okay, thank you. That's encouraging.
Yeah, it's simple and it's good. It's very good. Tastes great.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I love the palm tomatoes for sauce. Yeah. White sweet potatoes are just as good as the orange ones, but never, or I would say, never choose one thing. I mean, try the white, try the purple, try the orange, don't eat only kale, do kale, do spinach, do arugula, do Swiss chard, just rotate because all of them have different types of benefits. Yes, Shada's book and that we're doing together, we have turned in everything, so it's coming up soon well, not soon, but February or March. Okay, well, if you don't have any other questions, we'll go. Let's see, I'm just looking just to make sure that I didn't skip any of your questions. No, okay. Very good. Well, I hope that you will at least consider joining us in the next 7-day detox program. Go to the website. If you see that the fee doesn't fit your finances, and you still want to give me a shout, send me an email. I mostly I'm interested in helping people. Of course, I like to get some financial remuneration, but for me, helping goes first, and then money goes second. So, all right, very good. Have a wonderful Saturday. We'll see you soon in our next Zoom session. Bye bye, everyone.